Welcome back to the Gay Safe Space with
Kerry
and Pierre, and today we have a guest.
We have Tony with us.
Yes.
And today's episode, guys, we really want to talk about voting. We want to get you guys out there to vote.
Get that ass up.
And, voting is such a fundamental thing and it's such an important part of our lives. And a lot of y'all sleep, right? So we want to make sure y'all wake up and just get out there, vote. As the elections are coming up on Tuesday, early voting has already passed, but we want to make sure that you guys understand the importance of voting in the local elections, in the midterms, and how that is the ones that really impact your life.
Right.
So to kick it off, we'll have Tony introduce himself, tell us a little bit about his background and why.
What voting means to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why he was so excited to talk about voting.
Well, I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity and sharing your platform with me.
Thank you.
My name is Tony. I'm Tony Tovar, and I'm a community engagement manager. One of the things I always tell people, this is my voice, this is my choice, and this is the reason why I'm here to talk about voting.
Yes. Right.
I just recently became a U.S. citizen a year and a half ago after waiting for 30 years. Thank you.
There you go. Yes. Congrats.
And,
Congrats.
One of the things I was telling, I think I was telling you right now, I actually went through high school and university without a social security number.
Oh, wow.
And it was very interesting because there were a lot of opportunities that passed me by that I couldn't
sign up for it.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that when someone offers you a scholarship, like a full 4-year scholarship, they always ask, you have to have a social security number.
Yes.
And it's crazy because as somebody who actually was born from America, I feel like, I guess I take those things for granted, that some of the most simple things as filling out a college application or accepting different things, when they say, oh, you got to put your social security, I write it in, boom, and then it's done. But the fact that you had to go through hoops and bounds to get something like that to actually happen, that says a lot. That says a lot.
And one of the things I always remind people, I still love our country. I think me going through 30 years of tribulation, to me, it reminds me every single day I'm so happy.
Yes.
Right.
One thing I really appreciate how our government did is that they test my knowledge. They test if I know the current president, if I know English.
That is crazy.
Let me tell you something, right? My personal belief on that is that they need to get rid of that test.
That is a different episode.
Because at the end of the day, right? You ask the average American a lot of the questions on these tests, and it's motherfucking crickets.
Crickets.
They're chirping loud.
Tumbleweed. Because who naming all the presidents? Not this one.
Exactly.
But it's a great badge of honor to have, to say that you actually did take the test, you passed the test. It shows how much.
That showed a lot of dedication as well.
Yeah.
So, but let's look at this, right? So, what is voting? Let's just examine some things about voting really quickly. So, voting is primarily where you would elect your leaders that will represent you, either at a local level, a state level, or a federal level, in this case, as in the American system. As you know, we have a two-party system, the Democratic or the Republican. You choose where you want to be. I mean, there's independents and conservatives, but they don't have as much clout, right? Right, and even if we examine the history, I don't know if you guys know, but women was only allowed to vote in America in 1920.
Right.
And black women still wasn't even able to vote then. They had to wait until 1956.
To the 50s. Almost the 60s,
That was yesterday. My mom was born in 58. So that is mind-boggling when you look at the history.
Right.
And there's so much things that voting could change. Even when you look at how they fight the critical race theory.
Right.
And
the abortions with women.
Because how bad can a country be that they do not want to teach that country's history in schools? So there's a whole bunch of the people in the population who grew up not even knowing so much because about they tailor what your intake is.
And then right now, even with the whole women's rights. Like I'm not a woman and I'm offended.
Right. Definitely.
I'm not a woman. What
Listen,
was
the
your take on
world
that?
was offended. The world.
You know, I always ask people, like, what are your personal values as an individual?
Right.
One of my personal values is like making sure that we have equity for everyone.
Right.
And one of the things I know, and this is one of my personal values, is that everyone needs to have the same rights as me.
Right.
Right.
And it means a lot to me that we need to make sure that we go out there and vote, because women's rights are on the ballot right now.
It's on the ballot.
It
Can you
is.
imagine?
And I was very upset. I was so sad.
Woman, that is so ridiculous.
And
That ooh. This actually gets me upset a little bit because I'm like, damn.
don't get upset. Get a drink.
Yeah, right. I'm like, well, I guess it's that upsets a lot of people need to actually get out there and go vote because something had to change.
Yeah,
like,
it
to
has
me,
to.
it makes no sense that all of these old white men and women could. I mean, there's what, 3 Supreme Court justices as women?
Can police
And
women's
they get to
bodies
police
like
so much things that they have no business in.
that? Yeah.
So, you know,
It's real important that we get out there.
if not for you, do it for your mom, do it for your sister, do it for your coworker, do it for your friend who's a woman and who needs extra protection in these times, because who are they to tell them what they could do?
And one of the things we also need to realize is this is about healthcare. You know, making sure that people have the equitable healthcare that they deserve.
Right.
Yeah.
And us getting rid of women's rights for them to choose, it's a small little moment.
Small little moment.
But like after that, they're gonna go after your type of healthcare,
Of course.
my type of healthcare.
Yeah, but guess what's coming?
healthcare.
Guess what's coming next? Well, if they're able to get rid of abortions, right? What's next? Gay rights is just a few years old.
Yeah.
Gay
And
marriage is just
yeah.
a few years old.
And
There's just
that
so
affects
many
us
things that they're trying to come
Right
for that was signed into law with the 13th Amendment, and they're
Right.
trying to come for a lot of that because in their mind, this is their country.
Right.
Yeah.
And, they
And
can
that's
do what they
another
want.
thing, because we're not married yet, but we definitely will be getting married. And
Quickly.
we don't want
Quickly, y'all
them
not
to
gonna
take
catch
our
us
right.
slipping. Y'all not gonna catch us slipping.
But we also need to realize that we need to use this opportunity to bring us all together
Yes.
Yeah.
as a country.
Definitely.
One of the things I tell people is you're allowed to have your own personal opinion, your own personal difference. But in the end, we're actually the United States of America.
Exactly.
I mean,
US
that
of A.
name is quite misleading sometimes.
The U.S. of A.
Listen, that united aspect,
I can tell you that
it
I
be on
have.
pause a lot.
But for this situation, we need to press
We need
play.
our hands on
We
deck
need
for
it
this
on
voting.
more than anything
Yes.
right now. We need to band together.
And that's one of those things I tell people, please vote. Whatever party or
Right.
organization you represent, go and
Right.
show out. Show yourselves to the
But that,
fullest.
that brings me to my next question,
Yeah.
right? As in, you know, what is the process that you would typically go through to learn your candidate and decide, okay, this one best represents me and what I stand for as an individual? And you know, although it's subjective because we all can have different beliefs, whether it's hurtful or helpful, right? But how do you go through that process? What it's like for you?
That's definitely a great question. One of the things I do as an individual, I look at a variety of different sources. I look at different type of media channels that can give me the opportunity to get a snapshot of what my candidate stands for.
Okay.
I also like write down what are my personal values. Right now, my personal values is voting rights.
Right.
That is my number one.
Yeah.
The second one is healthcare.
Right.
You know, healthcare also comes in, intertwined. It comes together with women's rights.
Right.
The third one is education. If that person does not align with my personal values as an individual,
Right.
I wouldn't
not
like
happening.
be
Can't
able
do
to
it.
support it.
Can't do it.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's one of those things I tell people, like, I don't let others vote for me.
Right.
I vote for myself, and I read
As you should.
everything. I read whatever this news channel says, this TikTok channel says, this YouTube channel says, and I come with my own conclusion.
Right.
I understand there's a lot of misinformation,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of
Definitely.
like false organizations out there that are just trying to find a way to kind of control me.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know,
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that I love to hear your opinion.
Right.
I want to hear your opinion.
Right.
One thing I really do believe in as a personal value is economy.
Right. Yes.
I believe in entrepreneurship. I
Right.
want to see like entrepreneurs like rise up.
Yes.
And I want to make sure that our economy is strong,
Especially
locally.
in a time like this, because
Yeah.
this is between the gas prices, groceries, everything is going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Inflation is real right about now.
I guess the next question I would ask
Okay.
is, what if all the core values that you're looking for in a candidate, you find in a candidate in a party that you're not aligned with?
that's
So what do you do then? Do you, for example, if you're Democratic, but all the core values you're looking for is in the Republican candidate or vice versa, do you vote for the other side just because, or do you stick with what you're registered for?
I
That's a
don't
good
vote
question.
what I'm registered for because I think that is I consider that group thinking. I really do. Do you guys know what's group thinking? Like
Yeah,
whatever
just follow
everybody
it.
like if somebody's like, we're gonna jump the bridge, let's jump the bridge. Yeah,
right.
I'm not gonna jump the bridge
Exactly.
because I know my deductible and I know my copay
Exactly.
from my insurance company, so I'm good.
Yes. It's good to know that you're different. You're not like that.
Right.
Quick sidebar. I remember one time I was in a parking lot for a
Right.
restaurant, and you know how you have to pay, you have to stand in a line and pay to park your car?
Yeah.
Well, it was this long ass line, and everybody was sitting in it, and like literally a few steps down, it was another parking meter, and nobody was there. So I'm like, why is there? I'm gonna go to this one, and sure enough, I paid, got my ticket, and I was out. But that just to say,
Just follow the line. They just join the line.
they just joined the
because,
line.
yeah.
And I think it's kind of a human nature, but that's something we have to break,
Yeah.
especially in times like this.
Well, it's also it hurts innovation.
Right.
Right.
You know, you guys are innovators.
Right,
you guys
right.
created an amazing platform where people have the ability to share their voice,
Yeah.
Right.
and you're not suppressing their innovation
Right.
to make a change.
Right.
So I really appreciate that you guys are innovators.
We try.
All right. So my next question would be, right? Do you think so many black and gay people, especially gay black people, do not turn out to vote because they don't think that they're represented or it would make a difference anyway? So there's no gay candidates, there's very few black candidates, there's very few women candidates, and black women as well. So in their mind, it's just another white person or another Latino. So what's the point? Do you think that would serve as a deterrent for people of color and gays voting?
I do appreciate that question. I do believe that is a deterrent. Did you guys know that for the first time in midterms, we have 5 senators, like 5 candidates, 5 black senators from different states that want to become U.S. senators? That is like
That's awesome.
one of the call-outs that people really want to say out there.
Because representation matters.
And
I
if
wanna
we
see
get
it.
those
I wanna see
5
it.
black senators in the Senate,
Yes.
do you guys know how much change
How
we
much
could
change?
do right now?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Like before, we only had like 2 black senators,
And
If
it
we-
all boils down to us getting out there.
Yeah.
You know?
souls to the polls.
So, literally that's the pathway.
So my question, a lot of people don't know how to register. They don't know where to go. They don't know
Right.
what to do, how to get to it. They always say check this, but they don't. So how can I vote? Where would I go? What
How do
should
I
do?
register?
How do I register?
How does it work?
Voting is very easy.
Right.
As long as you're a United States citizen, you can vote.
Right.
If you have a felony charge, it always depends on the
What
state
state you're
you
in.
live in.
Okay.
One of the things I tell people is when you're about to renew your driver's license or
Right.
your state ID,
Yeah.
ask the clerk,
register.
can I please register to vote?
Yeah.
Right.
We literally just had that
Yeah.
conversation earlier, how I just renewed my ID, my driver's license.
Yeah.
And I just went ahead and registered there. So yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
right.
and you definitely want to say like, yes, I would love for you to register me to vote, and say to that clerk, say thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for helping me.
Right.
Because that person is allowing you to have your voice.
Yes.
be heard.
Right.
But it's very easy. One of the things I tell people is if you moved away, like I currently just recently moved to Miami, Florida, and I'm very thankful because he was able to find me a great place to
The
live.
realtor
So
right
please,
over here, you know.
small
shameless
shout out,
plug.
but small
Yes.
shout out, please. He got me the best place in Miami.
Yes,
Top notch.
yes, mate. Pat yourself on the back, man. You did that.
I thank him every single day when I see the sunrise and the sunset. When you move from a different state, please register to vote. Go to your DMV or go online and see how you can register to vote. One of the things I tell people to go into a nonpartisan website is vote411.org. Vote411.org. That is a very nonpartisan organization that wants you to be heard and for you to register to vote.
Right.
And it's easy. All you need is to be 18, a United States citizen, and as long as you don't have any felony, depends on the state, and also making sure you're paying your taxes.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know that if you didn't pay your taxes, you can't vote. Or if you guys didn't do jury duty.
Right.
Oh wow! If you got called in for
if you
jury
don't
duty,
go and you didn't go.
listen,
Yeah.
I would. No, I don't want it because I need my coin from my 9 to 5. But if I did not have a job and it was just a regular day, I would love to go in there like I do a big murder case. I'll be in there chilling.
People
like,
do that. They just show up to the court and want the case.
on the side note. But yes.
Believe it or not, there's not enough representation for jurors out there. A lot of people decline that. That's
Yeah,
another
that's a
conversation.
whole
to have.
other-
Right. Again, so you decline it and now you can't vote even if you want to. So it's a snowball effect.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said we all know. So it's Tuesday. What time do polls open to vote here in Florida?
Here in Florida, it's from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Right.
One of the things I want to remind people, even if the time has passed and you're in line, stay in line.
Right.
They will still honor that you're still in line to vote.
Right.
Don't get out of line.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You know, one of the things I tell people, plan ahead. Bring your friend, your neighbor, your sister, your brother.
That's real
Your
good.
boyfriend, your grinder or scrub hookup.
Yes. Bring them all. Jack 2. Jack 2.
I need to start using Jack more.
Listen, back in my heyday.
We met on Jack.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Listen, you need to get on Jack, friend. If you know that, you know. So my question to you is, what for those who have not voted or haven't voted in a long time, what do they need to bring to the polls? Like, that's a really important question that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, great question. Bring your voter's card. You will have a voter's card.
If you don't have that, then
Bring your driver's license.
okay.
Yeah.
If you don't have your driver's license, bring your U.S. passport. It always depends what state you reside in. Some states are very nice and easy, and some states, I hate to use this word, but they suppress the vote.
Right.
But unfortunately, you have to look at what they ask for. It could be your voter's card, state ID, or driver's license, or your U.S. passport. I, unfortunately, because I just became a U.S. citizen, I bring everything. And let me tell you, when I voted, they were very surprised how I had all the
All your
receipts.
stuff. And that's really good because I was reading earlier. I was reading and it said that if you don't have like the ballot or whatever, and you just want to bring your driver's license or your ID, it has to have your signature on it. If it doesn't, you have to have like a passport that has your signature on it or something else you can
Yeah.
have.
To document
but it
with
has to
your
have
signature.
your signature.
Yeah.
The document with your signature on it would be safe to bring to the poll.
And again, let's play it safe. Bring everything with you.
Yeah.
Bring anything that is like made by the state and
Identification.
by the federal, and make sure that when you sign something at the polls, it matches what you sign. So I actually had to make sure my signature matched what was on my U.S. passport, and I even asked the worker at the polls if it had to match, and they said yes.
Yes.
One thing I do want to ask is thank them. Thank those people that volunteer to work at the polling station.
Yes.
They get yelled at. They get screamed
They got
at.
a lot to go through.
Yeah.
They do. Like
They-
it's a busy time.
Yeah.
I
Thank
couldn't
them.
imagine having that
Thank
job.
And right now they're going through a lot of intimidation, and we need to be, we need to use empathy.
Of that.
Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to know, like, what got you into politics? What got you into wanting to just go to
be an
extra mile
advocate
and
for voting and actually just
rights?
helping to get people out there and get their voices heard.
Yeah, it took 30 years for me to become a U.S. citizen. And I can tell you that the moment they gave me that little U.S. flag and my U.S. certificate saying that I'm U.S. citizenship, it really changed my life. I always been even before, and I think I want to give props to my teacher, Ms. Muhammad, from 7th grade. She was a woman that made a difference in my life in the city of Chicago. I'm a product of the public school system. And she always reminded us to use our voice, to vote. Even if we can't vote now, when you can, go vote. Because some people march for us to vote. And some people actually, they receive a beating.
They died. Some people actually died.
Just so we can vote.
A lot has happened in America so we can be where we are now, even though we're nowhere near where we need to be or where we want to be. But a lot has happened to get us to this point, so you're definitely right.
And one of the things that I want to tell people is that when you vote, it's like celebrating the 4th of July. When you register, it's like eating a hamburger. And when you actually do it, it's like giving a handshake to that U.S. veteran that went to fight the war for you. And on top of that is us celebrating our fundamental of the Constitution, that we can vote. We the people can vote.
We get to make the decision and really impact what type of future we have based on the candidates we vote for and elect. So,
vote.
Well, that being said, guys,
make sure.
So with that being said, again, voting is on Tuesday. If you have not done early voting, it will be on Tuesday, 7 to 7. Get out there, cast your vote. Make sure you're on the ballot. Make sure you register.
Bring that ass.
Walk with your documents and go out there and let's start getting our voices heard.
So one of the questions I definitely want to ask you both: how did you both feel about President Barack Obama getting elected?
Oh, go ahead, man. I'll let you take it on first.
I think for me, like, I wasn't even here in America yet. I hadn't moved yet. But America being America, being one of the greatest countries on earth, it did feel great seeing them. And not just regular black. They were like classy, beautiful, like intelligent. Like, they both lawyers. They were accomplished black people sitting in the office, and they really did a great job of representing what that office should be every time, right? So I was really happy to see that.
And as far as me, it was huge. It was so huge. It definitely is a pivotal point in my life that I actually was able to vote. I had literally just turned 18 that year, and I was able to vote for Barack Obama, so I actually helped make history. And I remember in high school, like, us millennials, I feel like we started the wave of youth actually paying attention to what's going on in politics, to be honest, because we were having debates in the hallways, we were having debates in classes about the politics. That's literally what we all were talking about. And I feel like young people showed up in a way they never showed up before to the polls. I was you trying to go to the bathroom? Oh, it's right around.
So this is part of the bloopers? Where we have like a super hot guy like pastor with a really nice swimsuit.
But yes, the Obama administration, that was a huge thing for us in school, and it's part of my life I'll never forget. So yeah, it definitely meant something for me to make history, and most importantly to me, make black history. But yeah, what about you when you saw Obama? How was it for you?
I live in Chicago, and I was actually there when they made the announcement, and it was a big pivotal moment. I actually cried because as someone that grew up in the city of Chicago and the far north side by Wrigleyville, I can tell you he represented me, a minority. And I grew up in a certain area where there was a lot of discrimination towards black, Latinos, and Asians. and for us to see someone from Hyde Park
Yes.
become the U.S. president, it literally made me cry.
Yeah.
I will never forget it. And
No, most
I thank him every single day, and Michelle for running together, for running to make it happen.
I still have my shirts. I have my Obama shirts. I save them. They like, right? I don't want to say I should have put it on because I ain't got nothing to do with, I guess, the
Obama is
presidency.
not on the ballot.
But yeah, he's still my president.
He's not on the
And he's everything. But y'all, that literally is all we have for you today. Please tell us what you think about this video in the comments. If you have not,
Go vote.
yes,
Go get that ass up.
get
Go
that ass
vote.
up.
Vota.
Tell your
Vota.
job you need your 2 hours that's constitutionally granted to you to vote. And you need to get your 2 hours to go vote.
Yes.
Okay? It's on Tuesday, 7 to 7.
Yes.
Some places will be 6 to 6.
Uh-huh.
Get that ass out and go vote.
Yes. And Tony, tell them before we let you go, where can they find you at on social media?
You can find me on LinkedIn at Tony Tovar. You can find me on Instagram for Souffle Guy 13.
Yes.
And I want to say, if you go vote, there's a possibility you can actually meet your lover there. You can meet your husband or your next wife.
Your next
'Cause
link or sneaky link.
There's going to be a lot of people with the same personal values, just like yours.
Yes.
And they're going to go vote. So vote that.
Right.
And thank you again
Thank
for
you.
coming and sitting
Thank
with
you.
us. We appreciate that so much. This was so much fun. You definitely have to come back to the gay safe space.
Thank you.
But other than that, y'all, please like, comment, subscribe.
Let us know what you think about this video. And take that ass out there and vote.
Deuces. Peace.
Peace.